Those 8 men's weights in the Olympic Games, remember, rather than the 10 that we're seeing here. But this is a mouth-watering contest once again. It really is. Thapa boxed in Rio, and we mentioned earlier on that you didn't want to run into Shakur Stevenson in Rio. You didn't want to run into Rebecca Ramirez either, which is exactly what Thapa did in the prelims. WSB experience too, so a mere 238 bouts for Shiva Thapa in senior in international amateur boxing. 600 fights between these two. Extraordinary. Thapa in the red then, in the orthodox stance, and another orthodox fighter in Baatarsukh of Mongolia in the blue.
It's quality all the way tonight, isn't it? It's just one great fight after another. And I think in this one, you might just see a little bit of composure and measure. You can already see them thinking about every single thing that they're doing. And tried a lead left hook there, Baatarsukh. This is a really good matchup, and I think we're going to see plenty of thought, technique, and a little bit of quality as well tonight.
Both of these two looking to try and establish a jab early, just feeling with the left hand there. Baatarsukh measuring that distance and looking to try and sink the right hand into the body. Thapa going up top with the jab. They look evenly matched. They'll know each other extremely well. They've been on the circuit together for a very long time. Mentioned all the experience that they've got, this being the 5th time in a row that Thapa has medalled at this championship. Bronze in 2019, gold in 2013. Baatarsukh with a bronze in 2019, silver in 2017. There's a groaning trophy cabinet between these two. One difference is the way that they kind of carry those gloves at times. Thapa's got a slightly higher guard, whereas Baatarsukh will just keep those hands a little bit lower, just picks them up there, looks for that right over the top almost, and then gets back on the jab, just circling each other, centre ring. Nice right hand there from Baatarsukh.
Yeah, they've both been landing with the right hand early on, thinking about every single thing that they're doing here. This is quality. You see the slightly bigger man, Baatarsukh, as well. Whether he can bring any of that physical presence to bear as the contest goes on, we shall see. But yeah, a very evenly matched contest so far.
He really does pack a lot into that 64-kilo frame, doesn't he, Baatarsukh? It's really interesting sometimes how just the physiology almost of two fighters can differ, because you've got to stay on the weight all throughout the tournament in AIBA boxing. You can't be yo-yoing up and down. That would just take far too much out of you.
And Andy, what a matchup. The last 2 Mongolian national championships that he's won, Baatarsukh. He's beaten Sem Batar in the finals of both of those. I mean, imagine that as a very, very different technical, tactical, physical matchup. Oh, you would have paid to watch both of those fights.
Absolutely, absolutely. And imagine the setting as well, the Mongolian national championships. People like you and me would we'd pay the airfare for that gladly. Those are the kinds of circumstances that you want to be in. This is why we follow this as closely as we do, and why we love it as much as we do, because the standard in all these different parts of the world is just off the scale at times.
That was a quality start. Time to readjust, refocus, and maybe just tweak the game plan ever so slightly. I fancy we'll see much of the same. Very sort of technical, tactical matchup this. They both had successes with the right hand. And you see dipped into the body shots from Baatarsukh. But that was a pretty tight first round. Wasn't all that much between them. I thought the start of it, Thapa maybe looked in control, and then that swayed the other way as the contest went on.
It was tight. It was absolutely very, very tight indeed. And just swapping punches at the start of the round there, looking for the right hand, just stepping a little bit wider that time, Thapa, and throwing that right. Looking to try and time the jab with the right hand there, Thapa, but it just slid over the shoulder of Baatarsukh.
You feel that maybe Thapa should have the slight advantage, maybe just in hand speed, but he not quite been able to see that come to bear yet.
I make you right about that. He does have, he's got nice hands. He always has had. On the inside there, he just showed us that briefly, going up to the head with the left hand and then down to the body.
I tell you what, it makes you realise how spoiled we've been over the last 6 or 7 years, particularly in the elite boxing ranks. You think of Thapa, you know, twice in major championships, Olympic Games, World Championships, he's gone out to Robertsy Ramirez. Then in the Commonwealth Games, he's gone out to Mick Conlon. And in another Olympic Games, he's gone out to none other than Oscar Valdez, who's now a two-weight world champion as well. The strength in depth over the last 6 years in particular in the elite boxing has just been off the scale.
Midway through round 2, so midway through the contest, the referee just having a quick word about the heads maybe coming together. Just looks to try and put some pep on that 1-2 there. Baatarsukh, Thapa missing with the right hand. Baatarsukh just pumping out that lead left.
And there you saw the hand speed for the first time, really noticeably, Thapa's hand speed. And you don't see too much of that in the elite boxing these days, but when he landed the right hand, just shoot the glove up to the skies just to let the judges know that it had been a scoring punch. You don't see so much of that gamesmanship these days. But the hand speed of Thapa just bearing a little bit of success through those moments.
It's a hangover back to the old computer point scoring days, isn't it? That flourish with the right glove or the left glove, just trying to signal to the judges at ringside that you've landed a punch, hoping somehow that might cause them to all press the button within a fraction of a second of each other. That's how it used to have to work, but you do still see it every now and again. Psychological ploy that it is, really. Letting go with the left hand there, Baatarsukh, but didn't manage to get through with it. Thapa again, nice and busy with those hands. Looks for that right hand over the top. Left hand on the inside there from the Indian fighter, did get through.
Yes, very evenly matched this. The really close competitive contest. You feel that Baatarsukh he's going to have to raise his game just a little bit. He needs to match Thapa, either in terms of punch output, pace, whatever. I just feel Thapa only just is beating him to it.
I would agree. In that second round, I thought that was a Thapa round win. I'd be happy enough to just stick my neck out and say that. When they get into that kind of mid-range, when he gets up close enough, Thapa, then he gets the better of it because he has got those quicker hands. But Baatarsukh needs to keep it just that little bit further out and try and use that 1-2. He doesn't necessarily box his height. Baatarsukh, he drops that height a little bit more than maybe he could at times. There's that lead left hand, he needs more of that. So third and final round, this is the final at light welterweight, 64 kilos, Shiva Thapa of India in the red, Chinzorig Baatarsukh of Mongolia in the blue. So far we've had 2 gold medals for Uzbekistan in our first 2 fights, in fights 3 and 4, 2 for Mongolia. So Mongolia looking to try and make it a hat-trick here, and they're very much in this. 30 seconds into round 3. Round 1 was extremely tight, difficult to really pick between them. Round 2 was more Thapa's kind of a round. We felt early stages of round 3. And Thapa trying to find the jab there, and he just got caught with a left hand himself on the way in. If it's at that kind of range, then Baatarsukh is going to have the advantage by virtue of that greater reach that he's got. If he keeps it at that kind of distance as he did there, that will work for him. He threw that 1-2 and then took his feet back out of range.
And the first of 2 Indian boxers in action tonight. Sanjeet probably up against it against Vasily Levitt later on. It's a heavyweight. Pooja, of course, another gold medal for the ladies yesterday when we were commentating that on the back of that magnificent 7 for the women at the recent youth championships in Poland. The men got in on the act as well. So what was that in total? And it was 8 for India at the youths, 1 yesterday, on the cusp of another one here tonight.
No, it's been a strong showing over the last couple of months. So over the last however many years, it's always been thriving. Amateur boxing in India. We saw Amit, of course, earlier on, dropping a split decision to Chinzorig at flyweight. Just keeping that guard up nice and tight there. Thapa heading in towards the final minute.
It could be up for grabs with this last 60 seconds.
He's done a decent job, I think, Baatarsukh, in this final round of keeping this more at the sort of range that he would prefer it at, a range that will give him a better chance of taking this final round. As he throws that right hand there again, he's got that distance established, and that's what he needs to do, because on the inside, up closer, then Thapa, as we've been saying, has got nice quick hands, and he will have the better of those kinds of exchanges. And he's managed to frustrate Thapa at times here, Baatarsukh, and it's just beginning to show towards the end, because he's either been right on the outside or he's taken it all the way in and tied Thapa up. That's not to say that this is a clear round win, but it was more what he needed to bring in that third round. They both celebrate at the end, and I'm not surprised, and this is a hard one to call.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty close. It shows you the difficulty for any boxer, I think, at this level, is striking the balance between effort and giving it everything and keeping your shape and your technique. And we saw that Thapa didn't quite strike the balance in the last round.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by split decision in the blue corner representing Mongolia.
Well, Mongolia gets it, so it is the hat-trick. That's their third gold medal in a row. Chinzorig Baatarsukh, the number 2 seed, takes it against Shiva. Thapa, 5 scores of 29 to 28, and he